therapists, sometimes they have you do things that make you feel worse. Like, my therapist has had me name the voice in my head to take the gravity away. That made me feel horrible. That's where my life is at. My friends are starting families, picking out names for their kids. I'm doing that for the voice in my head. They're like, we're going with Charlie for a boy. I'm like, I'm going with Kevin for my brain noise. So I think we're like the same guy, really. I try to feel better about myself, but people just say things to me that takes me back down. Like, my girlfriend's mom said I have an asexual vibe. I was like, I don't know what to do with that. And then I asked my mom, and she was like, no, you have a very sexual vibe. I was like, I don't know what to do with that. My girlfriend's mom's like, I can't picture your penis. My mom's like, I can't stop. The visions. But even with that, I don't have any sex stuff. I'm not kink shaming anybody, but I'm just glad I'm not in a bondage just because I don't have the money for that equipment. I'd have to use what's in the house. I'd be like, oh, sorry, we couldn't afford a whip, so I gotta go with this old Ethernet cable. Let her get drunk and try the router, but it's got those edges. I don't want to bruise you. I have anxiety. That's what I have. So I've been taking baths. I love a bath because I get to be 3 different versions of a person as the bath goes on. Because when I'm just sitting there in water, I'm like, I'm a cowboy in a whorehouse. But then I add bubbles, and I'm like, I'm a woman in a tough marriage. And then the water slowly drains, and I'm like, I'm a dead musician. It's great. It's great. Oh, I know. And I've been doing these guided meditations, but I had to switch from the girl's voice to the guy's voice because she would turn me on too much, and I would start masturbating every time. Just felt like I was abandoning the program. She'd be like, breathe in and out. I'd be like, I'm gonna go rogue here. Gonna jerk off and fall asleep. End the session a little early, Samantha. Because that's what the pandemic taught me, to have anxiety. 6 months into it, I wanted my girlfriend's edibles on an empty stomach. And then I watched Rihanna's Fenty fashion show. And then I had a full-blown panic attack. And my mind just gave me the symptoms of a heart attack. And my body was like, we're high, if you say so. You are running things. So I freaked out. I called 911. Yeah, the lady picked up. I just went, I'm a man on drugs. And I was so high, she goes, okay, what kind? And I went, an Italian man. I didn't understand. She was like, no, what kind of drugs, you idiot? Thinking I was gonna say meth or heroin the way I was acting. And I was like, turns out my girlfriend's weed is a little strong for me. She's like, you're not a man or on drugs. You don't sound Italian, young lady. But when you call 911, the paramedics have to show up. So these EMT workers come to my apartment. They got thick New York accents. This guy's taking my blood pressure. I am scared. I was like, how high is it? And he goes, bro, honestly, I thought it was gonna be higher. Because you're acting like a little boy. So basically, I called 911. I was like, hey, send someone over from Staten Island to call me a pussy. I think that'll do the trick for old Anthony. I live in Queens, in New York. And at the beginning, it was the epicenter in the pandemic. And everyone was like, don't go to the hospital for anything but COVID. But a couple of years ago, my hair started thinning, so my doctor gave me Propecia, but she was like, a side effect of Propecia could be impotence. So she gave me Viagra, which I never used. But then 2 weeks into quarantine, my girlfriend's like, take a Viagra. I'm sick of puzzles. Let's do this thing. So I took a full one, forgetting it's a pill for a 93-year-old with impotence, not a 39-year-old sexual phenomenon. So I took one, we have sex, I finish, I still have an erection. I'm like, this has not happened in 11 years. My girlfriend's like, I can't go again. I was like, medically, I think we have to. Dr. Fauci's orders. The CDC says. So we have sex again, I finish, I still have an erection. I'm on WebMD like, should I be concerned? My girlfriend goes, just sleep it off. I was like, I don't think it's that kind of injury, but I like where your head's at. So I go to sleep, I wake up, I still have an erection. At that point, it was like a horror movie. I was like, how is the doll back in the cabinet? I threw her out. 24 straight hours. I did non-stop erection during the height of the pandemic, living in the epicenter, thinking I have to go to the hospital and not for the coronavirus. Just showing up to the ER, the nurse is like, do you have COVID? And I'm like, worse. I have a boner that will not quit. So where is my ward? For the perpetually erect. Where do we go? Exactly. Yeah, New York is fun, man. It's a very liberal town. I used to work at the Apple Store before stand-up, and very progressive, a little too progressive, I would say. They wanted to make sure every group was included working there. They hired the elderly. My favorite group of people, just not for an electronics store. Just running around like, are these all radios? Korea was crazy. I'm sweaty. Just like, please go in the break room. You are scaring people. But it was good because it offered perspective on how meaningless those problems are. Because customers would walk in and they would just be like, my phone is dead. And the old people would be like, yeah, so are all my friends. I can't put Ethel in a bag of rice and bring her back to life. I wish I could, poor thing.